What is going on, everybody? Not here. And after a couple nights of talking Magic the Gathering between Hasbro, Avatar, and our new EV tracker, we're going to get back to Pokemon here. And today's a huge day for Pokemon. Obviously, Mega Evolutions 2, Phantasmal Flames releases. We have a ton of EX boxes that are out. And we have the Mega Charizard EX Ultra Premium Collection, which everybody's dying to get. So without further ado, I want to walk through these products. Just do a quick market update. Obviously, these unlocked, I believe, at midnight for everybody and their brother who's not an authorized pre-release sale store to sell these on TCG Player. So chances are they're probably going to move a little bit. But if they were going to dump, the dump would be here, I think, already. And I think what's really fascinating, speaking of, the price just went down. I think what's interesting with Mega Charizard EX, and I mean, look at how many boxes sold today. 500 of these, which is absolutely crazy, over $200. But, and we're going to have all these bullshit listings again. Let me clean that up because this is, they got to do something about this. And everybody and their brother complains about it between this and the foreign listings, and nothing ever happens. So we have a lot of no-name sellers here. Let me sort this by 50. I guess on this computer I didn't have it done. There's a lot of no-name sellers. Looks like a lot of people just trying to scalp things, etc. But the prices come down from about 270 to 217 in the last 2 weeks. I think, given what we're seeing with the Charizard promo and the Oricorio promo, those cards are probably between $75 and $100. And then you get 18 packs on top of that. I think a lot of folks aren't going to open this. And one of the reasons is obviously you keep things like this sealed. Number two, if you open it, we're seeing a lot of promo cards that are dinged up. So they're floating in there, if you will. They have their plastic wrapper, but they're in their little cardboard holder. You know, these things get kicked and dropped and whatever. Who knows? You know, 2/3 of the folks here probably got them from Amazon or from Walmart or Target, where, you know, who knows how many times they were drop kicked. But in my opinion, this product, we may see it drop below 200 for a couple days. And then in my view, it's going to get bought back up because it's 18 packs, and the packs of this product they're absolute home runs. So, you know, if you're looking to get it and you can't get it at retail price, if you want it, it's really not bad. You get 2 Surging, 4 Destined, 4 Journey, looks like 4 Mega 1 and 4 Mega 2, and the 2 promos. So it's a very, very nice mix of packs. So that being said, let's move on to the next item. So this is the Mega Latias EX box. These actually dropped a couple weeks ago. This is probably at its bottom right now. Now, granted, it's only 4 packs. It's 2 Destined, 2 Mega. The Mega Latias EX promo and the lenticular card are in there. Not carrying a whole lot of value, a couple bucks, I think, between the two of them. But if you look here on the graph, we've pretty much bottomed out. We've started to bounce a little bit. Now, there's still 553 in the market. But you're going to get to the point where, you know, it's at $33. It's not quite worth it to rip the packs or to rip them for packs, but it's getting close. And, you know, $33, you're pulling 13% off. So you're really netting like 28, 29 plus what you got to pay to ship them. You know, it's getting, this is kind of your break even where you're going to rip them and you're just going to sell the loose packs. So, you know, I'd keep an eye on this. You know, not great value for 4 packs if you look at the price per pack, but it's certainly worth keeping an eye on. So this is the biggie, in my opinion. And we'll get to everything else. We'll touch on Phantasmal Flames in a little bit. Salamence and Reshiram. So this was an LGS exclusive, even though it didn't all go to LGSs. But this is 10 packs, and this is what I call the 5x5. So it's 5 Surging Sparks, 5 Destined Rivals. So as Scarlet and Violet era packs go, this is the best of the best, at least until something else decides that it wants to be better than these 2 sets. And remember, yes, there's some boxes that are higher priced than Surging, but Surging has been printed or reprinted 4 times now, 3 times at the very least. And the rest of these sets haven't. So what's interesting is these are at $62, $63. And we look at the 1 month here, we can see the big drop, and it's kind of in treading water. It's starting to move back up here. But there have been 871 sold. And granted, this is the release date. but you're still looking at 10, 15, 20 a day, and there's only 147 listed on the market. I think part of the reason here is they're pretty big and they are a bit of a pain in the butt to ship. But as you get down through here, on the end of page 1 with 10 listings, you're $70. And what I did was I went back to the Massive Ogrepon, and this thing was getting dumped at $50 for so long. And this is 5 Temporal and 5 Twilight Masquerade. This is literally up 40% since then. And if you look at the graph, this is where it gets really cool. It dumped, more product coming to the market, and then all of a sudden you're off to the races. And you have something here that's, you're pushing $7 a pack on these 2 sets, plus the promo. And there's a couple stamp promos here. I can't imagine that they're carrying a whole lot of value because the Ogrepon masks are kind of like eh. And I mean, Teal Mask is playable. Supposedly, these other 2, not so much. So, but anyway, you look at the graph here. I think long story short, that's where you're going to see this in another month. So probably a higher price. So it's $62. I have a hard time seeing these under $80 by year end. Quite honestly, just where we see the packs at. And again, the risk of reprints of Destined and Mega 1, Mega 2, I don't foresee those coming out until the end of Q1. There's so much stuff coming out and moving back and forth logistically. It's just messy. So moving. Prismatic Evolutions Premium Figure Collection. So this was supposed to officially release, I think a couple months ago. Early September, late September, early October, something like that. But it didn't come out because there was an issue with, you have this pin here, find the mouse, which is Umbreon Sylveon, and that apparently didn't have the safety clasp on the back. You have this figure, but you have these 2 promos that are selling very, very well. And it is 12 packs, 11 packs, let's check, 11 packs. So the intrinsic value of this alone is probably sitting at like $90 just because it's sealed. Yes, those pack price is a little bit lower right now, but this is sealed, so it's going to sell for a little bit of a premium. And then you have the promos, which I'll have to check. I looked at them briefly, and they looked like they were crazy expensive. Probably not going to stick around there. Now, do I think it's worth $200? No. I mean, you get 18 packs from the Mega Charizard for the same price. I would probably go for that, but not all of these have hit distribution yet. Whereas you look at the rest of these, everything's hit distribution for the Mega Latias, the Salamence, Mega Charizard. Only about 40% of these have shipped. Just so everybody's aware, 40, 45. Wave 2 from every distributor I have, the second allocation is either the same as the first or it's slightly greater than the first. So there is another dump of product coming. It's probably coming in 4 or 5 weeks. So just be aware. Think of this as a Bandai release. You have this smallish wave 1. We're going to see a dump and then recover, and then there's going to be a second wave of product come out. So just be aware. So moving on, Mega Lucario and the Prismatic figure, Mega Lucario figure. I did not get a lot of these, which is really, really interesting. I mean, I got, I think, 5 times as many Mega Latias and Salamence boxes as I got of these 2. But this item here, it's 5 packs. The promo's okay. The figure, I could take it or leave it. But this is the weird one. I think it has the Stamp Journey Together promo on. I'm trying to see here. Either way, it's a little weird, but it is stamped. It is unique. But these just dumped on the market at some point. Now, again, you're already at $45 on these, so not sure you're going to get much lower. I would probably pick these up now if you're going to, just to be safe, because there are not more of these coming. Mega Kangaskhan, this is coming in waves as well. So this is supposed to release on December 5th. I like how it says an estimated shipping date of V, which is probably reasonable given, Pokemon's been delaying everything. So again, it's not worth $46. The promo is kind of cool, but you're only getting 4 packs. And it looks like, I'm not sure if these are Surging or if they're Journey. And then you have Mega 1. So the pack selection here isn't as good as a Mega Latias. So I think that's a little weak. But again, this is coming out in 2 waves. So we have the first wave coming on December 5th. The second wave is supposed to be coming before Christmas. I have a hard time believing that's going to happen. That's going to happen. And the same with this Mega Venusaur EX Premium Collection. This is a 50-50 waved item as well. This is 8 packs. And again, it looks like it's 3, 3, and 2, or 3. Yeah, 3, 3, and 2. So it looks like 3 Destin, 2 Mega or 3 Mega and 2 Journey potentially. But again, half of this is going to come out December 5th, and the rest of it later. I wouldn't touch this at these prices. This, quite honestly, you should be able to buy this for $60 at release, maybe a little bit less, which is it's a pretty good price at that point. But again, it's gonna hit, it's gonna release. Then there's a couple weeks that are gonna pass, and then we're gonna need a second bite. So Mega Evolutions 1, just want to touch on this real quick before we get into the meat of the conversation. These boxes have recovered quite nicely. And what's interesting here is 1,185 on the market. This is a healthy number. This is about what I would expect when we were in the bottom of the bear market, or I should say Temporal Forces, Stellar Crown. This number shortly after release like this was probably about 1,900 to 2,400 boxes. So presumably both waves are obviously out here, and then presumably a lot of stores were able to sell things direct off their own website or within their LGSs, whereas back in the dark era, if you will, everything was coming to TCG Player because, quite honestly, nobody wanted the product locally. So moving to Phantasmal Flames. This is fascinating. So the ETBs are priced at $100, and this one shocks me because ETBs across the board from every distributor delayed. And I think we got all of our ETBs yesterday and today for release today. So these were delayed, and then the three pack blisters were delayed. You have your Pokemon Center ETB. Not much to see there. I do want to talk about booster boxes. So booster boxes, these are still over $300. Now, there's still 900 listed, and a good number have sold, but people aren't undercutting each other for pricing here. So I think what's happening with booster boxes, even though the sell-through is reasonably strong, the per unit sell-through is down a little bit on TCG Player, obviously, but again, I think that's because there's a lot more direct to consumer on stores' websites and in LGSs. All of the booster boxes I've received. But again, this is a 50-50 split. 2 of my distributors were 60-40, so I got a little bit more, but the rest are 50-50. So the rest of these boxes are supposed to come with the wave of Mega Kangaskhan and the Mega Venusaur box, which is the first week of December. We'll see what happens. I know with Mega Evolutions 1, it was kind of staggered across all distribution where I think I got GTS or ACD first, and then PhD and Southern were like a couple weeks after. So it's going to be staggered through the holidays. So I think all bets are off with this, quite honestly. And with the Gold Charizard selling it, north of $1,000, it's gonna perform reasonably well. Now, would I buy it at $300? No, I'm not a buyer there. But if you want to buy it and rip it, you don't really have a choice unless you go with booster bundles. And again, 6 of these at $50, you're at $300, you get to the same place. So booster bundles are interesting because much better price. But again, you're at $50 on the low side, and you can see all these no name sellers. And these are most likely all folks that bought stuff off Target or off of Walmart, and they're just trying for the quick flip, which it kind of blows my mind because even if you pay $27, you sell them for $50 till you pay 13% fees. So call it $7. So now you're at $43 minus the cost to ship, which anywhere you ship at this point, it's going to cost you at least $10 on average, unless you put it in an envelope, in which case it's going to get smashed. So you're at $33 off something you paid $27 plus tax for. What are you doing? Like, people just are not very good at math, and there's just there's just no margin in it at this point, which is kind of crazy. Unless, of course, you get from distro. So sleeve cases, some of these are delayed. And I think the other thing that's really fascinating is this time we had 3 orders from distro that were missing items on the pallet. We've never had that happen before. So I don't know if there's something going on with the freight companies, because I would imagine it's not at the warehouse, since it was across 3 different shippers or 3 different carriers and 3 different distributors. It's just weird. It's a little weird this time. But 3-pack blisters, we don't have any of these yet. They're coming early next week. But again, everything here is waived. So there's 50% of this is in the market, except for ETBs and 3-pack blisters. They'll really start to push into the market middle of next week, where you're going to start to see an impact on TCG Player. And then the second wave for everything is going to hit probably the 14th of December. So probably 2 weeks after Black Friday. So, just be careful, because there's more product coming. We just saw what happened with Mega Evolutions 1. The boxes came out at $300, sold down to like $265, went back up to $310. And then the second wave came in and things, I don't want to say normalized, because a $250 box isn't normal. But then we saw sustained downside pressure in the market due to an imbalance of supply at that price point and then demand. And most of the folks who wanted to buy the boxes, they already bought it from wave 1. So anyway, guys, hopefully you guys are enjoying the set. Best of luck on your rips. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord.